What's up YouTube? Honeybee here, bringing you another video, and this time we're going to be talking about Fighter Pack 0. Now, before we move on, just ignore the little bit of blurriness you see over there. The green screen's a little bit finicky right now, but whatever, I'll just carry on. Fighter Pack 0. This is a topic that was brought about quite a long time ago. I know before Injustice 2 was ever released, Ed Boon had hinted that they would be bringing back certain Injustice 1 characters through a DLC method. Like, I know he mentioned Ares, he mentioned like some other characters, and he's mentioning it again. So let's go ahead and take a look at his Twitter and see what I'm talking about right now. Alright, so here we are on Ed Boon's Twitter page, and this is a tweet he put out yesterday, I believe. He said, "Speaking of fighter packs, I personally wish we could have released an Injustice 2 Fighter Pack 0 that featured returning Injustice 1 fighters with new moves and gear. Shazam, Martian Manhunter, Batgirl, Zod. That would have been fun." So obviously, people are going to be reading this and thinking, holy shit, is a new fighter pack gonna come to Injustice 2? Is it gonna be Fighter Pack 0? What does this all mean? Well, before we move on, let's take a look at another tweet that he had back in November, where he also mentioned fighter packs. So let's take a look at that. So this is the other tweet that he made. This was made back in the end of November. He says, "However, fun fact, at one point we considered making a Fighter Pack 0, which would consist of returning fighters from Injustice 1 like Ares, Doomsday, Batgirl, and Shazam." Sonic Fox here saying, "Give me Batgirl." Me seeing here saying, "Die." I don't really want Batgirl back, but we'll get into that later. I do think it's really interesting that here he's mentioning Ares, Doomsday, Batgirl, and Shazam. Whereas in the other tweet, he was mentioning Zod and Martian Manhunter. I do believe he said Batgirl again. And who was the other one that he said? Shazam. He said Shazam. So he mentioned Batgirl and Shazam in both tweets. But in the previous tweet, he had Ares in there and he had Doomsday in there. Now he has Martian Manhunter here and he has Zod here. I know he mentioned Ares before, like during interviews before Injustice 2 even came out. So what does this all mean, and what are my thoughts on this? Because this is a pretty important topic, I believe. Because the thing is, Ed Boon also tweeted this out the day before. He tweets out, "Hard to believe it's been 8 years since we opened NetherRealm Studios, and while we're not quite ready to talk about our next game, be assured everyone here is working very hard to make it our best game yet." So keep this in mind, and I'm just going to talk about all of this and kind of bring it all together and what my thoughts are on this. Alright, so bringing this all together, here are my thoughts on a new Fighter Pack 0. First of all, is Ed Boon serious when it comes to this tweet? Because the thing is, he mentioned it before, back in November. He's mentioning it again now. He has talked about it before the game came out, so it is very, very possible that he's just trolling and he's just mentioning it again, and there's really nothing that's going to happen with it. But do I think he's actually trolling or not? I think it's really just a maybe at this point. The thing is everyone knows that right now Injustice 2 is definitely not as popular as it was when it came out. Like, you don't see as many people streaming it, you don't see as many people excited about it. I still really enjoy playing it, but I know that there's a lot of people that have been saying that they really just want the next MK game. Well, here's the thing. Ed Boon tweeted out that they're working very hard on the next game, but they're not going to talk about it just yet. In the past, when NetherRealm reveals a game, it usually takes like at least a year or so after the game is officially announced for it to actually be available to players. So if we're thinking about this, like, NetherRealm still hasn't confirmed what their next game is going to be. So let's say they were to say it's coming. It's like, let's say Mortal Kombat 11 gets revealed today, and they're like, yeah, it's coming out, whatever. The earliest it'll probably come out would be a year from now, and that's like saying at the very, very earliest. Like, realistically speaking, I don't think I think the earliest the next NRS game would come out would be like end of 2019. Like I'm talking like winter or like something of 2019. I feel very likely it could be coming out later than that. So the thing is like right now Injustice 2 is at a point where it's the current NRS game, and I really feel like it needs more it needs more developer support. You know, it needs new stuff coming to it to keep everyone wanting to play it. You know, like I think the introduction of a Fighter Pack Zero would be very much needed at this point to kind of keep the hype alive with the game. I think if they were to introduce a Fighter Pack Zero, I think it's very interesting that he's not mentioning the same characters when it comes to these tweets. Like he mentioned Batgirl both times. He mentioned Shazam both times. But then he's like switching between talking about Ares and what is it, Doomsday, Zod, Martian Manhunter. Like, I don't think if they were to release a Fighter Pack Zero, I don't think it would have all these characters. I don't think it would have 6 different characters in it. I feel like it would probably have 3 characters like the other Fighter Packs had, maybe 4 just to make it a nicer thing, you know, on the roster. So make it better. So they add 2 slots to each side. And like, if that's the case, since he's mentioned Batgirl and Shazam twice, I would say they're probably going to be in it, but please, dear God, make Batgirl not broke as fuck if she were to come back, because she was super busted in Injustice 1. But like, I would like to believe that they would fix that if that were the case. As far as the other characters that were to come, I would like to see Martian Manhunter again, just because I think he's very interesting, and I would definitely be interested in playing him this time around. And then as another character, I would be happy to see like a couple different characters. Like if I saw Hawkgirl or Lex Luthor or Raven or Doomsday or Zod, like I'd be happy with any of these characters. I'd be happy with whoever. Zatanna would be another cool one. So like they could bring in a couple different characters. I don't think there's anyone that they'd bring in that I just would hate to see, because the thing is like Flash is in, so I'm like happy with that. So anyone they want to bring in, I'm fine with. It doesn't really matter that much to me, but I do really want to see it. I want to see a new Fighter Pack, and I want to see them bring a new Fighter Pack and bring like returning Injustice 1 stages. Like bring us like 3 or give us like 2, 3, or 4 more Injustice 1 stages. Bring it back. Bring back Injustice 1 characters and bring us a new patch that comes with it, and it'll bring a lot of more life into the game. I really feel like since the next NRS game isn't coming out anytime soon, I really feel like NetherRealm should be supporting their current game in Injustice 2 and bringing us new content and just stuff to really just keep us like interested until the next game is out, or at least until the next game is like officially announced, you know. So I feel like they really need to do that, and they would make a lot of money. I know like people would definitely buy it. So those are my thoughts on the next Fighter Pack Zero. I feel like I don't normally make videos about like tweets that Boon makes and stuff, but this was a topic that I had on my mind that I kind of like, since he tweeted about it, I kind of wanted to address it. Like I do think it is kind of necessary right now to bring more content to Injustice 2. So let me know what your thoughts are, like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.